Hey everyone, putting together another video to showcase a scavenger hunt that I built for my nieces and nephews. If you've seen my previous video last March when we all got together for my mom's birthday in Tennessee, I put together a chessboard escape room that involved microcontrollers and moving parts and some 3D printed pieces, and the nieces and nephews loved it. I've sort of painted myself into a corner, so now every time I visit them, they expect something on a similar vein. So we were back for Christmas. We visited the family in Iowa, and I put together another scavenger hunt. So I just want to showcase what we did. So if you're interested in microcontroller projects or doing sort of hobby type things like that, scavenger hunts, escape rooms, hopefully there's something here that's just a cool idea. So the wizard book was pretty straightforward. It was just a book that sort of highlighted where the first clue would be, when you encounter a clue, who it's for, and what they're supposed to do. This was not a technical element, but it was, again, to give my older nephew who enjoys reading and sort of leading and following rules a role to play where he sort of, as the older nephew, he could sort of coordinate everyone else. So, of course, this involved finding the first puzzle. Some of the puzzles were simple. They were rearranging some 3D printed letters to find a word that unlocked a lock. I 3D printed some lock boxes, some really good sketches available online for just little lock boxes. The puzzle I had a lot of fun with building was the video game for my nephew. So he enjoys playing games like Fortnite. So I did a retro throwback. When I was his age, I had the NES. So I was a child of the 80s. So I took a game that I was, one of my favorite games when I was younger, which was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! And I edited the ROM to change the text on the screen so that the character bios were his bio and my bio. I changed the profile photo of the second character in the game. His name is normally, I think, like Von Helsing or Von something, some German character. I changed his name to my profile. I changed his picture to sort of look like me, and as much as I could with the limitations of my skills in ROM editing. And then I changed the, between each round in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, the character will say something. It's one of like 4 random phrases depending on the fight. And so I just edited those inter-round comments to be the next clue in the scavenger hunt. So my nephew had to defeat the first guy in the game, and Glass Joe, if you've ever played the game, you know this. Then he had to just survive 1 round against me. Uncle Jason was the name of the character. And then he got the next clue in the game. This year we saw the motion picture Wicked got released. My nieces absolutely loved it. So I decided to make, as much as I could, some sort of grimoire, which is this pointy, it's like 2 triangles, it's like a Flag of Nepal type shaped spell book in the movie. I made something not quite the same, but basically a pointy book. And on the inside, it contained a e-paper display. I found a 3D designer who had made a spell book, and then I kind of chopped the corners and formed it into a little bit more of like a triangle shape. I built a sort of a plate that I could cut out for the e-paper enclosure and some screw holes. So what I did was, it was an ESP32 module, which if you've seen my previous videos, what I used in my chessboard. I love the ESP32 microcontroller, the little board. It does so much. It does Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It can run small programs and requires only 3 volts of power. It is perfect for every little hobby project like this I've done. So what I did this time was I had it expose a HTTP server and acted as its own Wi-Fi access point. So when it's powered on, you connect to it over Wi-Fi. You can then send messages to the e-paper display. Upon receiving a new message from the ether, the spellbook itself will sort of like vibrate and pulse to indicate that there's something for you. And so the spell books, there was one for each of the nieces. They received messages. I had some of my daughter and one of my older nieces running the spell books from their phones without anyone knowing. And so they were able to interact with them. So they, of course, for them, these little kids, it was magic. You know, they were like asking it questions and the spell book would then respond. And so that was the scavenger hunt that I built for this last Christmas. In total, it took about 1 week to do. A few days for the learning how to do ROM hacking and how to get into the code and figure that out. And then a few days to print the enclosures for the spell books and to just troubleshoot some of the e-paper libraries that I found online to make sure that they worked. And then to solder the components together and put everything together. So it was a ton of fun. A few hiccups along the way, but that's why I enjoy doing this, because I learn something every time. if you enjoy doing stuff like this and you make things like this, please leave a comment. I'd love to know what kind of project you guys do. I use YouTube for ideas, and that's why I'm putting these ideas out there. Maybe they'll inspire you to make something, even cooler. So thanks for watching, and go make something cool.